one of the perks of being a music producer is the capacity to just rest in the middle of work. I mean, sometimes you have what we call writer's block, right? Usually what I do is I just lay down and I listen to music. Yeah, I know it sounds funny, right? I'm having issues with music, but I lay down listening to music. But sometimes it helps, especially when I have great headphones like this one that I'm using. And then speaking of headphones, OneOdio actually sent me this headphone. It's supposed to be a wireless DJ headphone. This is called the StudioMax one. Let me show you guys. Now, it boasts of quite a lot of stuff, but I think the one that really got my attention is when they said it's wireless and then it has a latency of about like 20 milliseconds. Now, that's a bit far-reaching, right? Audio-Technica is like one of the great, companies that make headphones. And they have a wireless version that is about like 35 milliseconds. So for a company like OneOdio to be boasting of 20 milliseconds, I don't know, maybe they are far-reaching. And then the headphone is just boasting of quite a whole lot of stuff. It says, it's compatible with PC, iPhone, iPad, audio mixers, Android smartphones, and then there's also studio headphones. I don't know. Sometimes a product, it's advertised in a way that is very catchy, and then they didn't exactly meet up. So I don't know if this is really true or if this is just hype. But I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's unbox and let's see if everything being said about this headphone is true. But until the unboxing, I want to rest for like a few more seconds, all right? I'm going to see you guys when we unbox. All right, guys, let's unbox. Nice package, black. I'm a lover of black. Nice. It's a nice, it looks like a gift box. Nice. Alrighty. Obviously, these are the headphones. This is the transmitter. This stuff is all nicely packed. All right, well, we have two more boxes. And the cards, I love the way it's packed, actually. Okay, so in the box, this is what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so what do I have in here? This is sort of like the manual. Ooh. Okay, so we have the manual. Okay, so obviously this is the transmitter. Nice. In front of you, you have a 3.5mm jack and a USB-C port, most likely for charging. All right, let's open the first box. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of cables in there. We have a 3.5mm to a 1/4-inch jack. Then we also have another 3.5mm to 1/4-inch jack, but I think this is for the headset itself. Then we have a USB-C to USB-A cable. Let's open another box. What we have here is a pouch. It's got a zip. Very, very sleek design. I love the way it feels. I like the feel on top. It has OneOdio written on top of it. The headphones have a very nice cushion. Let me try this on. Okay, we have to open this up just slightly. Oh wow. It actually feels comfy. All right, nice. So on one of the headphones, we have 4 controls. Obviously, this is plus, minus. We're going to find out what these other buttons are for. Okay, now this is interesting. Now on the other side, we have, what? It has a massive 1/4-inch jack. What? That's crazy. I think one of the first things I want to do before I even go into the tech specs, I want to hear what this thing sounds like, right? So I'm going to connect it to my mixer and hear exactly how it sounds. I can't wait to give a verdict on, I mean, it mustn't look this good and not sound this good. Nah, that would not be nice. Guys, I have just finished sampling this headset. Trust me when I tell you that this headset is crazy. I mean, in my 32 years of audio engineering, I have never ever come across a headset that has the capacity to do what this headset is doing. Now, before I get into, what makes this thing very unique, for the audio heads out there, let me give you the tech specs of this headphone right here. Now, the cones have a 50 mm dynamic driver. You also have an impedance of 32 ohms with a frequency response of 20 Hz to 40 kilohertz. You also have a playback time of 120 hours. If you charge this baby in like 5 minutes, you get 5 hours of play. Now, let's speak about the transmitter right here. It supports up to 192 kilohertz at 24-bit. It has an approximate of like 20 milliseconds. Sadly, I can't measure it. I don't have any way of measuring it, but that's what it says. And in use, it feels that way. And then you have a battery life of 50 hours and it weighs just 50 grams. Now let's talk about the headphone itself. I mean, let's talk about the Bluetooth function. It carries a Bluetooth 5.3, and then you have controls on the body right here. I mean, I'll come to that in a bit. Now, I'm done with the tech specs. Let's talk about this headset, right? The ergonomy of this headset is fantastic. I wore it on my head. It felt very, very smooth. It didn't really give me any pain on my head. It was very easy to wear. I love the this sort of like foams here. These ones are sort of like soft leather, not like actual leather, but very soft leather. I like the inscriptions written in red, so it's bold, it's clear. But then when it comes to the function of this thing right here, this is crazy. Now, with the transmitter, right, you get this very small cable here. This is a 1/4 inch to a 3.5 mm jack. Now, the way it works is you just connect the 3.5 mm into it, and then you're good to go. So all you just need to do is connect it to your mixing console, or if you're a DJ, you connect it to your mixing desk, and you're good to go. Now, when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is nice, but why is it only just for mixers alone, and DJs? Why can't we use it on any other device? And then I kept looking at the connector here, and I kept looking at the 1/4 inch. I said, could this actually have a 3.5 mm on the inside? And then I screwed it open, and voila, there it is. So it means it's not restricted to just mixing consoles or a DJ's mixing desk. I can actually use this here. Right now, I'm using the Audio Technica, this the M50X, and I'm using that directly into the Rodecaster Duo, meaning I can actually use this, have a podcast with people, and be monitoring the sound from a distance. Now, speaking about the strength of this transmitter, it is insane. Now, basically what I did was connect it to my console, play music, and I took a stroll downstairs. Now, my studio has tons of walls because we have tons of partitions. We have partition for the vocal booth. I have a partition for where the equipments are. Then I have the reception. Then outside of the reception, there's another wall. Then you take a staircase down. I mean, there are walls everywhere, right? And I'm walking all the way down. I'm still listening to the music. The music is clear like I was actually in front of my console. Okay, I can still hear it a bit. Let me let you guys hear it. See that? Still playing. This is about like 12 meters, right? Okay, still playing. Impressive. I was flabbergasted, to be honest, at the truthfulness, because, most of the times when these guys are talking about equipment, sometimes what they brag about is not what they do. So I really found that very impressive, knowing fully well that I can connect this to practically any device that can take a 3.5mm jack. And then coming to the headphone itself, right? One of the first things I noticed was that we have a cable that has a 3.5mm and a 1/4 inch, which is typical for most headphones, right? So basically what you do is you look for where this goes in, and then you connect that. That's the other way. And then you connect that in and you're good to go, right? And the next thing you do is you look for where to place your 1/4 inch jack, which goes into a console. Now, because it's meant for DJs, right? That's one of the reasons why it looks this way. But then again, at the back of my mind, because I had a conventional user mindset, right? That most headphones are usually this way. You don't have cables on both ends. Sometimes you have the hole for, a cable on both ends. Take, for example, Rode has a headphone that actually gives you the capacity to connect the cable either to the left or to the right. Well, it's the same 3.5mm cable, right? But with these headphones, it's different. You have a 3.5mm on one side, and then you have a 1/4 inch on the other side. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen that before, right? So with the conventional mind I had, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, it would have been nice if I could use this on another device, not just a console because of the 1/4 inch jack. And then I thought to myself, hold on a minute, there's actually a 1/4 inch jack on the headphone itself. And I connect that into it, and this now works everywhere. I mean, how brilliantly intuitive are these guys at OneOdio? These guys, this is like next level stuff right here. I'm using a headset. Let me quickly jump to the price, right? Because this review is very abnormal. The Audio Technica I'm using, this is the wired, this is the M50X, right? It's like 100 and something, maybe like 157. Now, the Bluetooth version of this goes for about like $217. The OneOdio StudioMax goes for about roughly $170. With the amount of things this thing can do. The Audio Technica Bluetooth can't do that. Doesn't have a transmitter. I'm not even done with all the goodies on the body of this headphone. It's so much value for money. Now sound, right? Because I know that's what you guys want to, you guys are really interested about the sound. Now I have quite a number. Being a recording studio, I have close to about like 30 headsets, right? From different manufacturers. I have Sennheiser, I have the Audio Technica, I have the Rode. But the one I usually like to use for mixing is the Sennheiser and the Audio Technica. So I was very skeptical, taking into consideration that this company, I don't think this company has been around for a long while. So I was a bit skeptical about the sound. Now, let me be very honest. My Audio Technica would give me, on a scale of 1 to 5, right? 5 being the best figure. Say my Audio Technica was giving me a 5. The StudioMax 1 is actually giving me a 4. Now, that's pretty impressive for a company that hasn't been in the business as long as these companies have been. That's impressive because you don't get to, there are tons of brands out there. But when it comes to the fidelity of the sound, it's very pertinent that the headset you use does not color the sound. The sound has to be authentic. What I mixed is what I want to hear. I don't want any embellishment. I don't want it sounding better than what I mixed. I want garbage in, garbage out, right? I love the fact that it also has that Bluetooth function. I connected it to my phone. The connection was like this fast. I guess the only snag I have was that I maxed out the volume, right? It was loud, but it wasn't like, not like I want to get deaf or thereabout. But I had maxed out the entire volume. I wished if I had a few more decibels of volume would have been nice. But guys, let me not lie to you, this headset is crazy. Same thing for the Bluetooth. I was speaking with my sister on the phone, right? Left the phone and walked quite a distance. I didn't measure that I was 10 meters or 15 meters. And she could hear me clearly. She said, it sounds so clean on her end that, it seemed like there was noise cancellation on both ends. Obviously, that's not possible. That's from my end. But the audio was so clean. The quantum of features that this headphone... look, guys, OneOdio sent me this. They didn't tell me what to say. I wasn't paid for this, right? So, I would stake my reputation on the quality of these headphones right here. Now let's talk about branding, right? I mean, just have a look at, focus on this. Look at how beautiful this looks. I mean, just from the top, just have a look at this. Look at how beautiful this looks. It's one of those boxes you never want to throw away. Once in a while, right? I get to review like some fantastic stuff. I rarely always get the opportunity to review a product that really gets me excited. All right, so before I go too far, right, let me quickly speak to you about the controls. I'm sorry, guys, I would have spoken to you about this, but, I just got way too excited about how this, headset works. Now, it has a number of controls on the body right here. You have the volume, you have it's called the MFB, multi-function button. Now, that B is actually for two things. It's for the Bluetooth and the low latency. So basically the way it works is once you connect the transmitter to your console, you put it on here, it comes on, and then you hear it on your headset. Now, what you do is, depending on how it was when you put it on, if you hold on, once you power on the headset, if you hold on to this B button, it gives you two options. So it will let you know if you're in Bluetooth mode or low latency mode. When you're in low latency mode, the light is not going to be flashing white. It's going to be plain white. It will remain, right? Now, let me give you guys a typical example. Now, I'm going to connect this to my console. The white is still there. Now I'm going to put this on. Good. It says power on. Now let me check. Now obviously I think it's in, because the white light is still flashing, I think it's still in Bluetooth mode because I used it to listen to music. So I'm going to hold on to the B here, right here, and watch how this stops. See that? It stopped. Now it's paired, meaning I can now use the headset, play music, and walk the flip away from the console. And I can hear practically everything. So that's basically how that works. But the headset does way more, way more, right? Now, this is how you know if you have enough battery juice, right? Green, obviously, full, red, danger. You're practically out of juice, right? Now, this is how this works. Now, for the Bluetooth, it's a bit straightforward, right? Once it's paired, you increase the volume, you decrease the volume, you're good to go. Then it has this heavy bass mode, right? To do that, you double click on the multi-function button and it gets this huge amount. It almost feels like 3 decibels of oomph. It becomes very heavy. I wish when it got heavy, it wasn't so heavy to become very, very noticeable. It practically altered the sound. So I think that's the only snag I have with that menu right there. But if you're listening to music and you want to fast forward, right? You hold on to the plus button for about 2 seconds. You'll skip to the next track. If you want to play back what you were listening to before, do the same thing with the minus button. Hold on to that for about 2 seconds and then it reverses. Same thing for phone calls. If you want to receive a phone call, click. You have one call coming in and you're on one call, you double click, one goes off, the next comes on. I mean, it's too much. I just feel these guys gave this headset the best that they could. I mean, you have established brands that don't sound this way. I'm pretty impressed. OneOdio, thank you so much for sending me this headset. This is the best headset I have used in over 32 years. Yes. Now, I'm not saying it knocks out the rest. No, but it comes very, very close. For companies that have spent years manufacturing headphones, you will not expect a company to just come from nowhere and use technology to just push everybody else away. Sorry, guys, for the long video. I just had to give you guys enough details so you guys can jump. I mean, look, I bet my money on this stuff. It's fantastic. Sorry I didn't tell you about charging. I mean, just basic, right? But if you're going to be charging the headset, in the manual, one of the instructions you're given is not to charge it with anything that goes beyond, I think, 3 or 5 volts, so you don't blow up the headset, right? But this is fantastic. It would be nice, OneOdio, if you guys could also give us accessories so we could change the color or something to red, pink or stuff. I mean, I know we're asking for too much, but this right here is the bomb. I mean, I've had products I've reviewed, I've never spoken this long. It's because I'm excited about this product right here. All right, guys, I think that'll be all for this review. I'm going to see you guys on the next one, right? Ciao.